Okay, in this second video, let's get into some of the uses from all the way from very simple to complex. If you want nothing more than to clear something, like your home, a room, anything, yourself, your fields, as an example, because it will do it even without a glass of water, or to clear just a crystal or a glass of water. Just put your attention on whatever it is you want to clear and hit this button. You can also just say clear my home or clear my fields. If you want to take the clearing work a step further and include as an example a vibration from color, like purple for a euphoric relaxing feeling, I'll go ahead and reset it. And what you would do is get into the backgrounds, find the one you're after. Let's go with that one. Let's bring up the opacity a little bit, and just say or think clear my home and make it relaxing, and then set the timer and hit energize. You can also set that timer to have it run for 10 minutes. In any case, the maximum amount of time is 1,000 seconds. You can also say clear the park next door, or clear that bay of water over there, or that reservoir, or the mining area on that mountain, or clear that chemtrail of all damaging properties, stuff like that. Thought is the most powerful energy you have at your disposal, by far, and which is precisely the information type on which Imagi's wavelengths exist. It's more connected to thought than anything visible in 3D. So this means that you can use Imagi by thought alone. As an example, let's say you want to cleanse your liver. The minute you decide to begin a liver cleanse is the same moment Imagi knows what you're up to. So you can either choose a background, or since Imagi knows what you're up to, you would go with auto backgrounds. At that point, you can say or think liver cleanse, select the timer, and hit energize. Or you can add a single glyph, like this one, which represents the physical body, the whole of it. Bring it down, enlarge it, enhance it, maybe crank down the background opacity. This symbol represents everything in the human form, and if this background and this one glyph are all you use, the bandwidth of information coming through Imagi will be narrower than if you used more glyphs, but it will be specific to your liver. So if you're to go ahead and just, like I said, say or think liver cleanse and energize, it'll do the work. Now I'll go ahead and reset it to take that thought a step further. Let's say that again you're going with liver cleanse. And you've already added the glyph for the physical body, but now you want the program to create a more enhanced experience. So you go with autoglyphs. All that happens with this is, in addition to your specific intent and that glyph, is that the bandwidth of the application gets wider. facilitating a greater flow of information, making for a richer and more enhanced experience, having more to do with you and the world and whatever might be needed in the moment of your session. It's also possible that whatever glyphs the autoglyphs produces is going to make your liver cleanse more efficient. It's more than likely going to be the case. It's worthy of note at this point that a full liver cleanse could take 3 to 5 sessions over the course of 10 to 14 days. And this could also be true of other organ cleanses. Now, having said all that, it's also possible that typing an intent will work better for you, especially if you want to have these language glyphs included in the construct of your session. Including them will make the motivated energy more powerful, both for your intent and for flowing a wider bandwidth of information for purposes that may extend beyond the parameters of your intent. A good rule of thumb is that the more symbols there are in this view, the more information there is flowing through Imagi for all the purposes, both macro and, for you, micro. Now let's talk a bit about using or not using any sort of medium like water or crystals or whatever. It isn't necessary to use anything like this. Imagi will program reality itself, your DNA, your water, whatever it needs to do to address whatever you're up to. Having said that, as it is in all magical systems throughout the world and history, having a physical medium brings to the equation a physical component. Adding a physical component can enhance the effects. Put another way, Imagi handles the energetic component no matter what, but adding a medium adds a physical dimension to it. Cleared pure water is such an effective programming medium that it's never a bad idea to use it. And remember, you can just as easily hold a bath or a shower or a lake in your attention long enough to click energize. Using a more permanent medium does what you might expect. Let's talk about a crystal. If you clear and program a crystal, it will enhance both the native properties and function of the crystal type, but it will hold the energy over time. So, programming a crystal for your liver cleanse will put it to work 24/7 for at least a week, maybe longer. That it may need to be recharged, as you know. For those in the healing arts, you can program waters, mineral matrices, crystals, and so on for your clientele. Now let me show you a way to clear your chakras. So first we'll go up and reset the construct. You'd sit down to Imagi with the idea that you want to clear and balance your chakras. To do that, you'd either go select a background, or you'd use auto backgrounds. Then you'd open glyphs and select all of the glyphs associated with the chakras. I'll pause it to get them all loaded. Once selected and loaded, and I've gone ahead and arranged them the way I like. This is the root, this is the sacral, this is the solar plex. Let's turn down that background a bit. This is the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. So you can see the crown, we don't know why this is, turned out to be the symbol for that resembles Pisces, as a matter of fact, I think, Pisces. This is a good way to do it. Of course, you would just set your timer and then hit energize, because everything already knows what you want to do, or you can also type an intent. You can also add other glyphs and symbols and things to make your design prettier if that's what you want to do. Now let's look at another way to arrange these. So first I'll reset it, and I'll pause this long enough to go get the glyphs and get them loaded and arranged. Here you can see that I have arranged them in the configuration of a triangle. Now there's another way to do these, one at a time, or if you, as an example, know that a chakra all by itself needs specific work. So the way to do that is to, let's go ahead and reset it. Let's choose an auto background. And let's say that you want to work on only your heart chakra. Then that's the one that you would select. Maybe you bring it down, maybe you enlarge it, and completely feature it in your design. Set the timer, set the opacity, and hit energize. And you don't even need to think what you want this to do. Just having the symbol in the construct tells the construct what's going on. Obviously, you can also program a crystal or water or other medium to do this chakra clearing and balancing work. Let's address some more specific purposes for source code among the glyphs. Let's say that you want to release guilt or shame. This is how you do it. We'll first reset the app, and let's go let it choose a background. That's a good one. Guilt guilt happens to be very fiery. So let's go get the glyphs that you need. You need the one for guilt, shame, or regret, and you'll need the one for release. You can leave them on top of each other to make a kind of meta symbol, or you can arrange them in a way that makes sense to your subconscious mind. So let's say that you set them up like this. Now you want to go get the linkages. Let's explain just a little bit more about them. These are pegs, as you can see. They're very physical. These are a little bit like mitochondria. These are like synaptic connections, if you will. These are just pretty plain pegs. These represent energies. A lot of people really like using those, and then these are self-explanatory. So we'll connect these two with a neural component, let's say. So let's bring in a few, see how many we need. Now the ideas are connected. Release, guilt, shame, whatever. If you want to add a little more oomph to the physical part of it, for example, as mentioned, you can use water or don't, or a crystal, but you can type it. Thus adding the language component. I'll go ahead and arrange these. I'll pause this while I arrange these so you can see how the aesthetic appeal can work. Now they're arranged and sessions ready to go. You can see the aesthetic appeal sort of adds to it, and I don't know, almost like a mystical sense. Let's look at a couple of more ideas. Let's say you want to amp up your inner strength, your fortitude. Again, just select that symbol, and let's say you want to enhance the energy to matter effect. So you would select this symbol. And once again, you can leave them on top of each other to make meta symbols, or you can tell it by using linkages and connecting the functions, or another way to say it, connecting the concepts. So you'd be talking about increasing your strength, your fortitude, and enhancing it with energy to matter. Let's say that you want to fortify your physical energy, your stamina, for something physically demanding. Well, it gave us the gray one this time. This is what you would do. You would come down, choose physical body, maybe energy to matter again. And you would run it normally. Obviously, you can also say increase physical stamina and put the alpha glyphs in there for arrangement. You need mental clarity. This is the one you would use. You want to increase your public speaking abilities? Then you would use the throat chakra and maybe something that that translates to confidence. Those would go into your construct. Let's say that you want to begin a process of making yourself a more consistent manifestation engine just by thought, as an example. This is the one that you would use. Let's say that you want to begin a process of opening doors for new ideas, creating your creativity, for new businesses or just for increasing abundance. This is the one you'd use. Vision, and whatever else makes sense to use if you're getting very specific in your intents. Let's say you want to bring more definitive thought or action into your life. We've already talked about this one, but this is the one that you would use. Anyway, I think you get the idea of how the symbols themselves can be used very specifically by themselves or in combinations to effect what you're up to. Now we'll move on to some other ideas, which we'll put in the third video in this tutorial series. So go on to the next one.